welcome to the space where knowledge meets the action. Welcome to the Empowering Show, where we break down the barriers, helping you grow. Financial literacy, speaking truth to the power. Real conversation, changing lives by the hour. We inspire to change, here we challenge the status quo. Sharing tools for building wealth, watching your seeds grow. Empower you to take control of your future. No more living in the past, we're the authors of the suture. Get ready, get set, let the movement begin. Because empowerment starts now, let the light in.
All right, you know, I still like that tune. I think I think my son did a pretty good job with that. This is the Empowerment Show. My name is Kendall Stevenson, and I am the host. It's somewhere around about that 6 o'clock era, so it's about that time to maybe give thanks for something. You know, the way that we always start the show off is that we always look for something to be grateful for. I have many things to be grateful for, but today, particularly, I had a friend who had passed away, and he was a very respectful man. I got the opportunity to learn from him, work with him, do a couple of projects with him. So his name is Chris Curry. Now, he's from the Queens area originally, but he lived out here in Pennsylvania in the Monroe County for quite some time. So I'm not going to drag it on too much about it, but I'm going to let him get an opportunity to tell you about his life. All right, so sit back.
And the fabulous Ralph Cooper Sr. And this is my show business story. My amazing story began at the world famous Apollo Theater, where my 3-man vocal group, the Premiers, won 4 consecutive weeks at the Apollo's Amateur Night Show, singing the classic Temptations song, Old Man River, a cappella. I'll never forget the looks on the faces of Honey Cole and the fabulous Ralph Cooper Sr. The next few years, I tried my hand at modeling with the Ophelia DeVore Great Stomaco Modeling Agency. Really didn't get anywhere with that. Eventually, I landed at WWRL AM radio station in New York City doing community service work. It was a privilege working there with Bob Lohr and Bernie McCain, where I was able to create the first ever in New York City celebrity basketball game for the United Negro College Fund. The tragic killing of 12-year-old Clifford Glover in the Jamaica, Queens area where I grew up led me to become more socially conscious about what was taking place in the numerous communities of our city. I knew what I wanted to do as a songwriter, but guess what? I wasn't a songwriter yet. But as fate would have it, I was fortunate enough to be in the company of Tom Bell, the great songwriter, along with Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff at Philly International. Observing them and the process of putting their fabulous stories together, I had the aha moment. And from then on, I moved forward in writing socially conscious songs. One of the songs I wrote in the trilogy of Stop the Violence is entitled Who'll Be Next, where a young 12-year-old girl is afraid to even walk in the street because she doesn't know if there's a bullet out there with her name on it.
All I wanna do is make it to the age of 23. So tell your friends and cousins too. The life they may be taking might belong to me. Stop the violence. Put your weapons down. 'Cause there's too many funerals in my heart.
song that I wrote entitled Stop the Violence, which deals with what we should do and perhaps how we can handle stopping the violence. And it is definitely a chant that you can use anywhere you are. Let's stop the violence. Positive Image was a song I wrote that depicts what we look for in someone that we would like to have a significant impact on ourselves, our family, our community, our nation, and even the world. One of my songs is An Orphan's Prayer, where you have a young male who's looking for a family.
Close my eyes and pray. I'm one of the lucky ones who gets picked today.
As an artist, I find it gratifying to have created events that bring joy to people. One of these events was the 98.7 KISS FM lunchtime concert series at the World Trade Center. And eventually I moved it to the Harlem State Office building, where we were able to pay tribute to many of our celebrities like Patti LaBelle, the OJs, and my Living Legends Award series. Another event which is most significant and gratifying and fun-filled was the creation of Jammin' on the Mic, where we had artists like Isaac Hayes, Melissa Morgan, Gerald Levert, and many, many others on the same stage just having a fabulous time. I've continued that on my CD series entitled Jammin' on the Mic with Chris Curry and Friends. Luther Vandross, Gladys Knight, the Manhattans, Regina Bell, the OJs, Gerald Levert, all sang on this jingle that I wrote along with Traviso Milner.
Hi, this is Luther Vandross. Yeah, and we're playing the music for the whole family. Classic soul and today's R&B. I'm kissing you. With that classic love. 98.7 Kiss FM. Yeah.
When I am of service to others, that is when I am most fulfilled.
Well, as you guys can see, there's a reason why I give this man a lot of respect, and the respect is deserved. It's truly deserved, and this makes for a nice prelude today for me, because I have another gentleman on. He's a musician that plays multiple instruments. I think his favorite would probably be one of the saxophones, and he plays multiple of them. He's a songwriter and he's a singer. So I like to all introduce everybody to this young man, and his name, boom, right there. His name is Vernon Jones. How are you doing, sir?
I am well. No, I am superb.
Well, I tell you, it's very nice to have you on the show. As you can see, I do like to acknowledge those people that have touched me in my life. And this young man, he just recently transitioned. So this is why I wanted to give a few minutes, just a couple of minutes, to give him some flowers. Okay.
Hey, I want to commend you on, one, doing that, and two, on his accomplishments in his life, because I did not know him, but through what you just did as a tribute to him and his way of telling his story, I do know him, and it's a privilege to have heard his story and gotten a sense of who he is and what he did, because it is impressive. It's definitely impressive.
Well, it's very much a reflection of you. When I also see those, I see those creative talent in you as well. I've gotten to stand with you, right next to you, while you were blowing that horn, brother. and it was very, very exciting. Very, very. I tell you, I wish that I could play that well. And yeah, you are a very damn good musician, and a hell
Thank
of a
you.
songwriter. So, like I say, you so much mirror him as far as I'm concerned, with the amount of respect that should be given to. So, is this something that you wanted to do like your entire life, was play music?
Yes and no. I know that sounds kind of ambiguous, but when I was a kid, I lived in a neighborhood, and my best friend's dad drove a tractor trailer. And the neighborhood was real narrow and real small. It was like big enough for two cars to come down. And when he came home with just his cab, it took up the whole street. And I was always impressed with that because it was big. Now, needless to say, that wasn't the road for me. I also wanted to be a test pilot, but somewhere along the line, all of that turned when I started hearing music, and it made me feel things, uh, good, memorable things. And we formed our own band back in elementary school, and we would play some events, and that continued all the way through high school. In fact, because of that experience, I ended up. The group was called the Rock A's. We had, I can't call them hits, but they had some notoriety, and we performed, up and down the East Coast. I'm originally from Virginia, and that's pretty much how I ended up staying with doing what this is. But truth be told, none of that would have happened without a mother who pacified her child when he was young and wanted to start out playing guitar, and then to join the school band to play saxophone. I really wanted to play trumpet, but that didn't work out. I ended up getting the saxophone, and I think that was what I was supposed to play. So there's my yes and no to your question about whether it's something I always wanted to do. It was always in the background, in the foreground of who I was. Unfortunately, like a lot of us, it didn't take hold until later, like it does now. So I'm just happy to be able to do what I do, and that people enjoy it, because there's a lot to be said in these days and times that need to be addressed. People need uplift and inspiration and motivation. And if you've lived any length of time at all, it helps to have someone be inspirational to me, to be inspirational to someone else, like people were to me. I could go through a litany of names and songs and things that saw me through, my life. But as a friend of mine said, we each have our own journey, and that introduced me to you in one of my projects. So I'm thoroughly delighted.
I'm very glad to have met you as well, brother. And it's also good to have someone in your corner. You said your mother was in your corner, so it's always good to have someone that will appreciate what you do, and will help push you and motivate you to so that you can become that big superstar that you are.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm working on it. One day at a time. I have things to say that I'd like to believe. Okay, here's an example of what I mean, what I hope people are getting from this. She was instrumental in me playing saxophone. There's a story associated with that, but I won't go down the winding road of that. And because of that, and the experiences I had growing up in my house, and I wasn't always as good as I like to think I am now. And during those times, you could tell it wasn't her favorite thing to hear me play because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And, we couldn't afford a teacher and all those kinds of things. But we did have enough going on to put together a band, and the band stayed together a lot of years. And in fact, I'm still on a thread. We have a text thread for the members that are remaining. And, we have a number of people that They're still doing it. There's some out in California, one at the least in out California, one in Virginia that I know of, two in Virginia that I know of, and myself. And, you know, it is a privilege for me to honor the respect that I have for what it takes to be good at anything. So, you know, when I listen to your tribute from Chris Carey, it's like, you know, that he really accomplished a lot in his life, and I hope I should be fortunate enough to do likewise. Here's one of the things I hope any of the younger listeners will take from this, because I've been around for a while. It took me a little time to zero in on the things that make it possible for you to be and do who you are. And some people are very fortunate to know at an early age what they want to do. And when you ask me the question, did I always know I wanted to? No, I didn't. It kind of found me, but I was listening and not listening because I felt like there was something special about me. I just didn't have the wherewithal or the whatever it took to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to be. Because I knew I had some gifts and specialities. My strength, I think now, is that I think I can tell a good story, because I love a good story. Because a good story will teach you something. It will make you feel something. And if it's the right thing and you're the right person and it's the right song, it can see you through heartache. It can be motivation and inspirational. Music can do an awful lot for the human condition. And I don't think the world yet sort of gets it in its most profound sense, because a lot of what passes for music is, it reaches people and it goes to our most base and sometimes our worst instincts, and that's unfortunate. But I think music at its best accomplishes motivation and inspiration. At least it did for me. It gives me something to get up and to do. I spend at least 2 hours a day in the wee hours of the morning woodshedding. Woodshedding is an old Southern expression for practicing. Practicing is in anticipation of the opportunity that will present itself to be realized by whoever there is. I figure and feel like I have a tribe that will respond to what I have to say when the opportunity presents itself, and I am prepared to do what's necessary in order to get it before the world. When that happens, it will be an effortless, seamless flow, and people will hear it, and it may go viral. It may only resonate with people who are of my tribe, but that doesn't matter. The reason, well, let me digress for a second, as if I haven't already. I have a single that's just been released on April the 17th, that I co-wrote with a friend of mine who's 85 years old.
Wow.
Or 86. And he and I, this is the first song he and I wrote together. And I wrote the song with him. He brought the whole song, well, the idea for the song, he brought it to me and said, you know, let's see what we can't come up with this. So the song is an affectionate take on a lighthearted acquaintance, what it means to be joyful, to have and know love. So that was my first experience in co-writing. I did have an album that I've had out before, but the reason I wanted to get that stuff, we also wrote a Christmas song together. I used working with him as a template for what I was going to do with my own work moving forward. And the reason I tell you that is that I'm still working on a project to get some of my other original material that has lain dormant for a lot of years. And I didn't know what to do with it and how to try to finish it. And the reason for mentioning that is that there are 2 songs for my wife. She passed, it'll be 7 years in October. And she was instrumental in me getting my first album recorded. The first album, she wanted nothing to do with. She and I were a duo. she didn't want to perform on it, and I had to have her know, if you don't sing something on it, and we go out and play and do anything for my album, and you're not singing on it, people are going to wonder what kind of an egotist, maniac, lunatic he is. In large part because she was just a stellar singer. So she finally agreed, and I got her to sing one of the songs. First time I ever wrote a song for someone else. And ironically enough, the song that she sang was the first song we had play locally on the radio. We also had the album, the recording of it on WVIA. I think it was WWDL in Scranton, it used to be. So all of that comes together to say this. She was integral in me realizing my first dream. The first dream, bless you. My first dream was to create my first album, and that happened in part because she wanted to have me help me realize my dream. So, and there are 2 songs on this next project that's coming out that are for and about her, which is the reason why I went through all of that rigmarole to kind of have you know, the next project I got coming up will be a lot more personal to me in that respect, because I wanted to honor her memory so that anybody who gets to know anything about me will know it's because of her, and that I wanted to do that to honor her memory. So that's my way. Ironically enough, I made a video that I haven't released yet of her singing her song, or the song that's on the first album. And I'm probably going to release that as well, because it's been a little while since it's been out. But that's the long and the short of what it means to be me, and where I'm coming from, and what I'm trying to do, far as the future's concerned.
Well, this is what I see. I see that women in your life that have actually been in your life have been very instrumental to bring you to the point that you're at today. I got a question.
Sure.
How many instruments do you play?
If you don't count harmonica, 4.
And how many are self-taught?
Well, they all are to a certain extent, but you're always influenced. I watch videos instructing piano and saxophone frequently, because the internet and YouTube are excellent ways to be able to learn a lot of information if you get the right teachers. And that's what I didn't have when I was early on, because I didn't know. And YouTube and the rest have kind of democratized the ability to learn, because there are a lot of people that know a lot. More than I do in a particular area, and I try to learn from them.
Okay, we have to take a quick little break. It's a little commercial break, and we'll be right back. But when we do come back on the other side, I do got a couple of questions I want to ask you. One of them would be racial tension. Have you had any racial problems being a musician? So hang tight, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, we're back. We're back on the other side. That was the Wolfpack. They sell apparel. They sell sporting apparel. If you guys are interested and you want to see what they sell, you can always go to the PAEmpowermentNetwork.com. There you can actually order it, and they'll bring you right to their site, and they'll bring it right to your door. That's the PAEmpowermentNetwork.com. We were in conversation with Mr. Vernon Jones. Now, the last question that I asked him was, I wanted to know if he ran into any racial issues. while playing music or as a musician? So we're going to give him an opportunity to answer that for himself. Hey, Mr.
Hey.
Jones.
Hey, sir.
So
How you doing?
I'm chilling. So on the other side, just before we had the break, there was a question that was brought to you about racism, and you find a lot of it in music.
You know, that's a tricky question because it's sometimes hard to discern over. It's not like it used to be, in terms of people they would show their true colors. Now it's more subterfuge, wherein they're trying to appear not to be who they are and affect you in any way that would be obvious to you. And I can't say empirically that it has been there, because I've been blessed to perform and want to perform different kinds of music for a wide array of musical taste. It would be difficult for me to say, let's put it this way. Any of those instances, I've tried to not dwell on them if there have been. So it would take me a little bit of time to go back and say, yeah, this was probably at the forefront of that. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I mean, how about being turned down or away from shows, or being difficult to get shows based on the color of your skin? Have you ever ran into that?
Well, see, that's just the thing. The climate is such, just in the country alone, that we talk a lot about inclusion, and we talk about there are regions of the country that ostracized ostracized and neglected because they're being told something or denied the truth of the reality about what happened in the world. They denied the Holocaust. They don't want to make it as though slavery was as bad as it was. And they don't want to hear anything contrary to what their natural beliefs are, largely because that's not who they are now. And they don't see that as having been relevant in their lives, so they don't know the impact that has on anybody, because most people are about living their lives and trying to do what they want to do for themselves. This may sound like a roundabout way to answer the question, but I can tell you, in my gut, I'm sure there are instances of it that say that it's racial. It's a kind of profiling that's impossible to avoid because of the color of my skin, because of who I am and how I am, and not necessarily the kind of music that I play, because like I said, I try to play to a wide variety of audiences and respectful of what that background is. That's my musical background. My background is a lot of different things. I play music from back in the day. I play songs that from 50s and 60s and 40s, and wherever there is good, I put it out there that I play some of the best music ever recorded. And it doesn't necessarily all come from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and today and yesterday. Some music is harder to try to wrap my head around or to be in, but that's the challenge for me. I am what I now call my personal development tour. So whenever I go out to perform, I am actually experiencing my personal development tour. Thankfully, I can say that the impediments to me being able to find work have not interfered with my desire, my drive, and persistence in getting it, being and doing who I am now. There's a little quick commercial. You saw us last year. We've been at Nick's Lake House at Lake Harmony for the last few years as a trio called Chosen Few. And
the Chosen Few. I recorded that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I thought it was pretty good. You guys sounded excellent.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're still at it. And we'll be doing some of the original material. one of my partners in the group, this trio, is also still writing, and he's from Virginia as well. And we didn't meet each other until we moved up here. But he's got a single release that's straight up on R&B song that it'll be perfect for Nick's Lake House when we're there. And I think it's Memorial Day weekend coming up on May 23rd. And we'll be there a couple of other times throughout the summer. But, that's anybody interested, come on out, bring the family.
So
Yeah.
I got another question I got for you. When did the singing come in, or is that all? Was that always, or when was that? When did you pick up that instrument?
Well, I started singing in high school just because I could. It was a gift that I was blessed with, but I wasn't a singer at the time. I was the saxophone player in high school, so I didn't do a lot of singing, but I was one of the alternate singers in the group. And from that, I just kind of gravitated to, if I want to work and I want to keep doing what I'm doing, people want to hear you sing. And the kind of stuff I want to sing, or I like to sing, is uplifting empowerment. Did you check that?
I got that.
All right.
That didn't fly over the head. I got you.
Well, because it's a great. The word is great, and that's exactly what I try to do, and all the things that I do is to inspire. And if I'm being completely honest, and I hope I am, that's what music is. That I hope that the songs that I write will do is to encourage people, but they're not just about. Their positivity in unusual ways. You know what I mean? They're love songs. They're. I wrote one song that is a satire on the circumstances when we were going through COVID about Donald Trump, and it's like, this is controversial, and I love the song because it was my only way to deal with everything that I was going through and what I perceived what he was doing at the time. We'll see how that fits into the program moving forward.
You may have to make a new one for this administration.
The irony about this song is it is timeless in its construction, even though it's topical in its design. But as we move forward, I've written a lot of music, and I am just now getting to the place and point where I recognize the value of it and in it. That is timeless. That's probably the hallmark of the things that I tried to do. It may have a certain ring and a certain style to some people, but I try to keep abreast of things that are going on and make my contribution where I can.
Is there any favorite genre that you prefer?
Wow. Yeah, well, I have a few. I have a few favorite artists. But you ask me on any given day and it could be different. But since you asked me today, one of the things, I like inspirational and motivational music that doesn't come at you that way. There was a group that was popular in the 70s or 80s called Sea Wind. And they were characterized, if you go to look them up, as a Christian group, but there isn't any mention of that in the music in itself, but it is about being spiritual, which is a big part of what I believe, because my belief is that people all over the world have a right to worship and believe what they believe. And my belief is that God is in all of us, in all things, in all ways. And it is important to not discount that in the process of going through your life, because there are messages and lessons to be taught, whether or not it's something you relate to or not, in its origin. So I'm open to learning what there is to know with pretty clear vision in my own head about what matters to me. So
this new album that you got out, what's the name of the album?
Well,
what
it's not
genre would you say it's in?
This
Or
it's
just the song? The song, it says the song. So what is the name of the new song that you have out?
Welcome to My Garden.
Welcome to My Garden. And what genre would that be under?
Island music. I can't
Island
call it
music.
reggae. Yeah, I can't call it reggae, but it does have that island quality. It has steel drums and guitar and bass and
Caribbean
a
sound.
group. Yeah, it definitely Caribbean.
Okay.
And it's lighthearted and it's fun. And there's a choir of I don't know, 12 to 15 people singing in the background along with me. It is a sing-along song. I'll tell you that right now, by design. And so far from the people I played it for, everything from seniors to young folk, if you will, enjoy it, sing along with it. They get it, they clap. It's that, and that was what I wanted to do first and foremost. I wanted to make sure that people recognize the music that I do is accessible.
So I think it's successful. I think you're a very big success. You people know you all over the place, and the people that you played with, Mr. Jonathan, my man. How is Mr. Jonathan doing?
He's doing well. Our last conversation, he was working on a logo for a new logo or a logo for the trio. To capture this aspect of who we are and what we do. Very good. But he's still working on tweaking it. Like I said, he's got a song that he's released called It's the Kind of Love. And he's gotten radio airplay in Chicago, and Minnesota, Atlanta, and a few other places I think it's a great song. It is a really good song. Very reminiscent, if you will, of Babyface in this context. So I'm very happy for him. I'm happy that he's part of it. He's part of the all platinum music contingent that out of New Jersey that were responsible for the origins of hip hop and rap. So he's got a lot of experience. He's an engineer, Grammy award-winning engineer. So I've got quality people around me on my team to try to help get everything that we both are working on trying to do. And this kind of goes back to your question with regard to racism. The area that we're in doesn't lend itself to a lot of diversity in terms of the kind of music that we like to play. So whether or not that's overt or something else, it doesn't provide us with as many opportunities to do the kind of music that we're naturally good at, as I would like to see. So if there's anybody out there looking for a group that plays R&B, some classic rock, some original material, and a little bit of jazz and everything else. One of my favorite songs that I do is Just the Two of Us. I do an instrumental version of Smooth Operator and a whole bunch. It's just all over the place. But it's all good because, that's who we are. That's what I like to do, and it's the kind of thing that gives me joy.
There's what is the African proverb? Is that I am because we are. So you've taken the opportunity to put really good people around you. Johnny is he is one hell of a guitarist. Plus, he has a hell of a lot of experience. Yeah, that brother that was playing that piano that I was there listening to. Oh wow! I mean, he you could stop and just listen to him play. So with you guys together, I and the chemistry is excellent. I can't see you do anything else but succeed.
Well, from your mouth to God's ear.
Well, he's listening because you're here. So he's definitely.
I believe that to be the case too. And my mother used to say that I was impatient because I wanted everything yesterday. And I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. But in part because I believe there's a, to paraphrase, to him whom much is given, much is expected. So I've always had high expectations of who I was and what I could do. And because of that, I always wanted my timetable to be God's timetable. And as we both know, that is never going to be the case. But as I prepare for whatever opportunity that comes my way presents itself, I expect to be ready. This may sort of be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I have said to those that I know and love, I had vision of being on the stage at the Grammys, being the oldest, best new artist. And right now,
you never know. You never know. No.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I may have jinxed myself in saying that because I really don't necessarily need to have that kind of honor. I would, any kind of honor, all honors are good, because that sort of says something about your community, like the success that you've had since you've been doing this. And I should tell you, if I didn't on air, I am so proud of you. I'm proud of you doing what you do, the way that you do it, the impact and the, just being you. So I feel blessed and fortunate to have met you and seen the work that you've been able to accomplish. Even though you didn't follow up on the alto saxophone, I don't hold that against you.
Hey. The thing about a Gemini, I'm a Gemini, so this is a Gemini thing. Geminis, we're versatile. We're very versatile. We can do multiple things.
Yes, you can.
What we have to do is that we have to master one thing at a time. So even though I was trying, I did try. You can't say I didn't give an effort. I gave an effort. It wasn't maybe the greatest of effort, but I had so many other things going on. And
of course,
honestly, let's tell how you and I, how our adventure together, because my job was to take some beautiful photos, which I did, and to record you. And that's what I was doing. But it led from one thing to another.
Yeah.
That's all. And now here it is today. Look at you today. Now you get to be on the PA Empowerment Show.
Yes, sir. and I am thrilled and honored that you extended the invitation, because it gives me an opportunity to have some other people here and see what there is that I'm doing. I know you have there's a here now page that reflects the work now that the song is live. If you go to the link, there's a sample that plays, but there's also a link to different streaming services like Spotify and Pandora and Apple, iTunes, and a host of others. All of the streaming services where you can find Welcome to My Garden, Vernon Jones. So this is a great opportunity for me.
You can go to, if you go online and you go to the PAEmpowermentNetwork.com, which is scrolling there at the bottom, you can also find him there as well. So if you have any trouble looking for him anywhere else, he's right here on that page, right there, just waiting for you to listen to him. All right, I guess we're just about at the end of this show, and I'm so glad that you did come on, and
me too.
And, I'm hoping you had a good time.
I did.
And if that's the case, then maybe we can get you back once this song is out, and we can see how it's doing.
Okay, I got fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right.
No, I will. In the spirit of what you mentioned in blessings, this is a quick little caveat. The other day, I like being in nature, and sometimes to deal with whatever, the change of the weather, etc. I'll go to this state park and sit by a lake and I'll play. And I did this a couple of days ago. Not sure what people would think or how they would feel. I didn't care. I had my earbuds in, and I was just playing my saxophone to music that I perform. And I was fortunate enough to have multiple people come over to me and compliment me on what I was doing. That wasn't the purpose for me being there or the thing that I was doing. But it just goes to show you, if you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, people will take notice.
You know, since you said that, I had a show Monday. We do a show, Mental Health Mondays. And
Okay, yes.
on Monday, this particular show was about meditation. Do you find that when you're playing your saxophone that it's your way of meditating?
I never thought of it that way, but you're probably right. I do separately meditate, but it becomes a way of meditation for me too. So when our minds work in unusual ways, because when I'm practicing, I practice a different variety of things. Sometimes I practice songs, sometimes I practice scales. And in the nature of doing any of those things, I'm trying to get myself, my subconscious, and to be autonomic, so that I don't have to think about what I'm doing when I play. And that's what happens. That's what happens when I play. If I practice a particular scale or a song, when it comes time for me to perform for an audience, it becomes something otherworldly, because it becomes a question of being able to express what I'm feeling at the moment and in connection with the song. So yes, it is a form of meditation.
Yeah, I've been starting to do some of that myself, giving it a try. Miss Millie says hi. I cannot forget that. So
Tell her I said hello.
I get in trouble if I don't say hello. You know.
Awesome,
okay?
Awesome. Hey, you gotta keep those close to you happy.
Well, I look forward to you coming back on the show, and I also look forward to maybe hanging out with you in person again.
Sounds like a plan, my friend.
All over again.
Continued
All right?
success.
All right. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Absolutely. You take care.
All right. My name is Kendall Stevenson, and thank you guys for tuning in to the Empowerment Show. Here we get an opportunity to meet multiple people from all walks of life. So I think we're doing pretty good. Again, my name is Kendall Stevenson, and we are going to be out. So thank you.
Welcome to the Empowerment Show, when knowledge meets action. Yeah. We break down barriers to financial literacy. Speak truth to power, real conversations. Oh, voices that inspire change, challenging the status quo. Tools for building wealth, taking control. Your future starts right now. This is the Empowerment Show.